Mike Wozniak, Wozniak.
Okay. So Mike,
Yeah.
how are you doing this morning?
Doing well, Oz. How you?
I'm doing well. I think we have a nice temperature, about 19 degrees this morning in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It could maybe 21 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Staying inside.
it's a great day to stay inside. It's a great day to do an interview. Also, so Mike, where did your passion for cycling start?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably like about 30 really that I started cycling actively, but had experienced the beauty and the colorfulness and the all the pageantry of the sport at a young age, in Boulder, Colorado, where there was a lot of professional cyclists that trained, and a major stage race was based out of there for when we just had moved to that town when I was a small kid. So gave me some unique viewing opportunities, high level cycling at a young age.
Okay.
And I think that's what maybe got me interested in it initially.
And how were you at a young age? What age were you?
I moved to Boulder when I was 7.
Okay. So you were already riding then. You already knew how to ride your bike.
Yeah, I already had a bike stolen back in Michigan when I, before we moved to Colorado.
So what all types of cycling have you done since that time?
I've participated in road cycling, a lot of commuting cycling. I started commuting as a bartender on my bike. I've ridden mountain bikes a lot. I have limited experience on cyclocross bikes, which is a kind of a hybrid mountain bike, road bike discipline of cycling. So yeah, those are kind of the 4 main ones.
Did you do any track cycling?
No, but have ridden those style bikes, which are fixed gear bikes. That's what I commuted on as a bartender. So.
Okay, so mentioning bartender.
Yeah.
So you are part owner of Sound Pony?
Yes.
Could you tell me how you got started in Sound Pony?
Yeah. I was a bartender in a local restaurant bar called The Brook for a long time. And my friend and my brother, Josh Gifford, we split off from there and started our own bar after a while because we wanted to have a bar, and kind of use those experiences to our advantage for ourselves, I guess, and to promote things that we believed in, I guess, also, which was cycling. So yeah, we started the bar.
So the bar, you have cycling memorabilia in the bar?
Yeah, it's littered. It's I like to consider the Sound Pony a cycling museum that serves booze a little bit, So yeah, it's got all kinds of local and national and even some international memorabilia and mementos of racing and competitive cycling and even non-competitive cycling, and just cultural pieces of biking stuff. So.
And Sound Pony is also on the route for the Saturday Tulsa Tough Crit.
Yeah, it has been ever since it started. That was like serendipitous. we opened the Sound Pony about a month before Tulsa Tough started. So that was great. We had this little team called the Sound Pony that was associated with this bar, and we were racing on our home roads. So, and the rest is history for us, you know.
So how did you get into giving kids bikes?
Well, that's kind of as a community engagement through the bar. You know, we had opened that bar in downtown Tulsa, close to I-244. We knew right across that highway was a school on the hill there. And I guess we thought, a few of us, that we could offer those kids some programs and ride around in their community on bikes, you know. And so we went up and met with the principal, and we're through Tulsa Community Foundation, was connected with Jason Wharton, who was giving away bikes at the time, but wasn't offering any programming necessarily. So it was like this perfect union of, hey, I have bikes I like to give out to kids. You want to start a little bike club and offer skills and safety-based programs to young people. Let's try this. And we got the blessing of the school system, the principal, Tammy States, there at Emerson Elementary. And we just got about 20 kids and rode with them a bunch, you know, once a week, and tried to teach them skills and safety and how to ride together. And once we were confident that they were doing that, we took field trips on their bicycles, using them as active transportation around that school site, you know, around that community.
So the Sound Pony is in like the 400 block of North Main. And
yes.
Emerson, that school, is like in the 1000 block of North Main. So this was your neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
That was basically crossing the I-244 is just a mental barrier of being on the same street. And that school is also in a minority neighborhood.
Yeah.
When you started, neighborhoods kind of changed quite a bit now.
Yeah.
15 years ago, it was pretty much a minority neighborhood.
Yes.
And so that was pretty unique, getting a bike program in the Tulsa Public Schools. So
yeah. When I think when we started at Emerson, student population was roughly 90% African American, and 8% Caucasian or white, and then 2% Native American, and some other races, you know.
So you mentioned bike club. So this led to bike club. You want to talk about bike club some?
Yeah, bike club, after that first year, it was really successful. You know, we and I think we helped promote it through the cycling community, that network, and we promoted it through. It was kind of promoted through Tulsa Public Schools program, Community in Schools, at that time, and 5 schools wanted it the next year. So we asked the cycling community to partner, you know, different groups, different teams, to partner with those 5 schools to kind of expand and grow bike club. And that happened. So that second year, it became 6 schools. And the whole time we were really, and still are to a degree, developing best practices and, you know, how to safely teach these skills. So our kids are kind of using this as healthy habits for the rest of their lives.
Okay. So how many schools are you in now?
Yeah, it's been, this is our 8th year, started in 2014. It's 19 elementary schools and 6 middle schools. And I say that hesitantly because there's a few middle schools that we haven't really quite gained a footing in yet. We try every year, and there's just a few like barriers or hurdles we're finding to getting those programs really raring and going. So I'll say 3 of those middle schools are really good, and then the 3 others are, we're trying to improve.
Okay. So out of the 7 years you guys been in existence, how many bikes have you guys given away?
In Bike Club, we've given away, boy, that's a good question, Oz. It's like 1,600, I think, through Bike Club, maybe, programs. It might be more than that. It might be less. Jason knows that answer. I just have to see the attendance from here.
Was that 1,600 or 16,000?
Through Bike Club. So Bike Club is a program of the Humble Sons Company, Bike Company, which is the 501, the parent operating company of Bike Club, that program. We have additional programs, 3rd grade, in school, bike PE. We have Project Bike Tech, which is a mechanics, bike mechanics class over at the Tulsa Met. And then we do our largest give during the holidays, and we partnered with the Bernstein Family Foundation and other funders to support Christmas time gives. So in total, over the years, I think Humble Sons, through all that programming, has given around 16,000, bikes, because we do quite, the holiday give is 1,000 bikes at a time.
Okay, so Bike Club itself in the school system, Bike Club has given away about 1,600, but the parent company.
Yeah, I think so. Year to date, I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the parent company has given away about 16,000 over 7 years.
Yeah. And those are, those are given to large groups like Family and Children's Services, or groups that serve a large amounts of people, Salvation Army, some others.
Okay, so during this process, what has been the biggest challenge in bringing your vision to life?
I wouldn't say there's been one big challenge, Osborne. I would say there's been a lot of little challenges, but kind of the leadership of Jason Wharton, and the teamwork of our team has kind of always gone ahead and tackled those challenges when we could, instead of getting hung up on them. Or, when we've had to move away from something, we've had to do that. But we've tried to really, through it all, stay on mission, and really try to grow confident cyclists and great Tulsans.
So I guess I kind of asked the question in the wrong way. What is your overall vision for the future of cycling in the Tulsa community?
Yeah, no, I think Tulsa has, because of not just our organization, but so many others like us that are really trying to serve greater Tulsa, whether it's Tulsa Tough or USA BMX, through all of our associated programs. We want to make Tulsa the bike capital of the Midwest. I really think that, we want to show the rest of the country that Tulsa is a wonderful place to ride a bike, to start a business, to connect with other people.
Okay. So this is a little off of cycling, but it's cycling related. You guys redid a mountain bike trail over at Lubell Park. So how did that start?
That started because we had a bike club at a school site located right next door to that park. We had, as cyclists, been aware of what was going on in the rest of the country, that other school systems were leveraging public space and putting this kind of infrastructure and supporting programming in these spaces. So great example is the Bentonville public school system, where they took some of their green space and public land and that was close to their school sites and put trail infrastructure on it. And then had in school and out of school programs where kids could go ride those trails and had equipment to do so. So that trail started kind of took some leadership from Tulsa Public Schools in the city over to Bentonville, showed them those examples of that kind of construction and that infrastructure, and then said, hey, can we use this 14-acre park that sits right next to this 20-acre school site, shares property lines. Can we put some trails back here, and the school that is the bike club here can ride these trails? The neighborhood that lives here can hike these trails and ride these trails. The school can use this as an outdoor classroom. The whole school. Then you're not just talking about bike club, right? You're talking about the whole community using these trails. So we built them with all those partnerships, and it's proved to be really successful. It was a little hard for the kids, so we learned a lot. We wanted to provide them with a gateway level trail so they were not intimidated at all, nor was anyone else when riding a bike out here. So that school closed. So it was like a real bummer. We built the trail a year later, the school closed, but because of our work with Tulsa Public Schools, they allowed us to put our headquarters, our offices there. We have a classroom out there. We can do training. We have a surplus fleet of bicycles of all sizes, mountain bikes. So groups can come out there, do some training, whether it's road safety or mountain bike skill building. We can do all that. And, because we were using that site now, and we had built this trail, we saw that greater vision to really bring the quality of that trail to that beginner level, which sounds funny, but we wanted to make something that you could take your 2 or 3-year-old out there and put them on a Strider bike and they could rip around. You could take your 70-year-old grandparent out there and they'd feel comfortable hiking or maybe even riding it, depending on their fitness. So the Bernstein Foundation, the Sanford and Irene Bernstein Foundation, gave us dollars to improve that trail and bring in a professional trail company out of Northwest Arkansas, Road Trails, and they really made that trail easy and came in there and treated the whole trail. So the tread of the trail is real smooth. There's no roots or rocks, and it's really constructed and molded well. And there's berms and little, bridges built back there and stuff that we couldn't do hand built, they had to bring in big equipment to do. So
Right.
That's Lou Bell, and I encourage anyone to go out there. We're out there a lot, just poking around and working at that building, to come out and check out the trail. Love to say hi to you.
Okay, so you mentioned something about making the Tulsa area this great cycling hub. Well, you compete with Bentonville, and you mentioned Bentonville a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
It's
they
a
had
great.
the world-class U.S. no the World Cyclocross Championship there a couple of months ago.
Yes.
And BMX, USA BMX just moved to Tulsa.
Yeah.
So this whole area seems like it's going to be on fire with cycling programs and for the country.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And Bentonville gets a ton of attention, and rightfully so. It's awesome what, I'd say with the leadership of the Walton Family Foundation and Gary Vernon have done over there. It's pretty stunning and world class. It's in our region, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not very far from us, and they're not very, and we're not very far from them. So I think instead of competing a lot of times, we should look at ourselves as partners in this region, and how we can best, draw people here, which I think is happening. I really do. I think there's a lot of that going on right now. And yeah.
I think the participating in the NICA League may have had a lot to do with building those relationships.
All right.
Do you want to talk about NICA a little bit?
Yeah, NICA is student mountain bike team, ages 6th grade through senior in high school. Osborne, you're a coach. What do you? It's great, right? It's a great experience. There's about 1,100 kids that compete through those age groups. You race your age, your gender. It's a real safe space for competition, I think, and to learn, mountain biking and rubbing elbows with other student athletes. Yeah.
They run a great program. It's well organized. They got really good people running the program, so it's easy to develop relationships with those people. We could invite them to Tulsa for different events that we had. In fact, some of those NICA people was here for the USA BMX grand opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good space to work in.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of the schools in Tulsa public or in the Tulsa area really that compete in that, because it's not just Tulsa public schools. That's a composite team of student athletes. So primarily Carver, Webster, McLean, Jenks, maybe Montecasino.
And wasn't crossover prep part of that at one time?
Crossover prep at one point. Sorry, Osborne.
No problem.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, did I talk too long, or was I long-winded like usual?
I think he was right-winded. So, it's all good.
I hope I answered the questions that the public wanted to, have answered.
I think that all your answers were good, and I think everything that you guys are doing, that we're doing in Tulsa, is pretty exciting, and I think people would love to hear about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop the recorder. This Now,
Osborne,
yes.
thank you for having me, by the
Oh.
way. Did you stop the recording yet?
Not that one. I stopped one. I'm stopping this one now.